Morning, gentlemen.
What's up?
Morning, guys.
Life is
How's
good. Happy
everyone?
to happy to talk about another weekly sip and talk about a very important topic for all of us, which is onboarding a new client. So when we think about that, there's so many items that go into it, and of course the meetings and getting the sign off. But when we want to have a positive experience with a client first coming on, what do you see as the main goal in our role?
So I guess two, I'm going to answer that two ways. So first is, from us as a firm, it's like we have a mission statement of firm is that we're trying to serve client families as we serve our own family, helping them coordinate tax, legal, and financial issues. So for us, it's kind of the discernment of like, okay, is this a family that has the necessary complexity where it makes sense to engage a firm like ours to help with these complex matters? So from our perspective, like that's the first thing now that question comes to mind. From the
Yep.
client's perspective, it's usually the same. It's just a mirror image, right? It's somebody that says, hey, I've already started saving money in all these accounts. Like I understand the tax benefits that I'm getting. I have an accountant that helps me with my tax returns. I have an insurance agent that got various different policies. There's a 401k advisor. I might have a stockbroker. I got all these different things, right? I got all these different pieces of the puzzle, but I'm not quite sure how they fit together or what parts that I'm missing. I also got gymnastics practice at 3 and then soccer practice at 5 for my kids. And then maybe I see my wife between like 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and then we pass out and do it all over again the next day. So like that tends to be where we are the best fit, in that beginning stage of the onboarding is like who actually
Yeah.
fits.
Yeah.
Greg, would you agree with that? And then where do you go from there?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. This trying to streamline a what could be viewed, but also is a complex problem or process, not a problem, process, with clients trying to do the right thing and also have the knowledge to be able to make that decision upon and fill in the blank with whatever topic it is. Joe, you've used this comment a bunch as having a thinking partner,
Hmm.
right? Where the client seems to know the avenue that they want to go down, but they want validation. They want to make sure that before they make that decision, that they're thinking about all the different variables. So I agree. In addition to what I had said, that is us identifying the right prospective client to invite them to be a part of our firm. And then the opposite is showing that prospective client why we think they either need help or want help, or showing them things that they hadn't thought about, right? So I like to say it's got to be a two-way street. We have to feel that we can make a significant difference in that family's life. You need to understand and agree that we're the right firm for you. So I like thinking partner, and I like it mentioning being a two-way street. And then to Joe, to your point, it's an onboarding process. My thought about what is the most important is gaining the trust at ASAP, where it's making sure they can log on and see their money
Right.
via phone, via their computer, knowing who is a part of our team. Because with fraudulent emails and who is this person, it's very important to let them know who's on our team so they know it's a legitimate request, or also now they can communicate back and forth with that team member.
Now, as we start to like build out the plan, once we have that, what's kind of what do we need? What's the meat? How's the sausage made to get that started to onboard?
Yeah, it really is a partnership, like Greg was just saying too. It's we're working with us so we can make your lives easier, and trust is big. Communication is huge, but we also need information from the prospective client or the client that is now onboarding, whether it's statements, whether it's your expenses, your data, income. We have to be open in order for us to really help guide you through your financial life. So when we get into those meetings of building your financial plan, building out a balance sheet, income plan, cash flow analysis. We're going to ask some pretty detailed questions. I mean, we take security very seriously. So we have a secure portal to share data with. So you can upload documents highly encrypted. And you'll have your own personal financial site. That's what I love about one of the things we offer is you can go to other sites that do, offer net worth statements and things like that, but they also advertise to you. We're not here to advertise, we're here to be your financial guide. So that's one of the things we like to communicate with clients, and I think we do a pretty good job of that.
Right.
Well,
'cause
and
they
I
did
like that. Sorry, go ahead,
on
Joe.
the state documents with the attorney, right? And then
Yeah.
you're asking, hey, can you upload those documents to the portal so we can review them? And then they did the investment accounts with the stockbroker investment advisor. Hey, can you upload those statements? Then the tax return with the CPA. Hey, can you upload that? Property,
Right.
casualty insurance, umbrella insurance, that type of thing. What's the information on those? So we're trying to triangulate or bring in all those different documents. So that does need, buy-in from the client to say, hey, we need to share these documents so that we can start building out the full plan.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Sorry.
what I wanted to add was a relationship that most people, if not all people, have is with their general practice doctor. You go in, hey, my heart hurts, right? They're going to ask all the questions to try and find a diagnosis for why your heart hurts, right? But they need all the information: height, weight, blood pressure, cholesterol, blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing on the tax, legal, and financial side. Is we're trying to help solve problems and guide them, at, like, to your point, Nav, the financial guide, to make the best decision for their family. But we need to know what's going on.
Yes.
Hence the question: where's your, how's your kid, handling his freshman year of college? Or how's your mom? Is she still mentally sharp? Those sort of things, because that's going to that needs to be part of the equation when we're recommending a path. So it's important, existing clients listening to this, to let us know what's going on in your life. And information, I have to say, almost to a point, most 95% of the time, the information we need to know, there might be 5% that it doesn't matter, but please let us know, fill us in. Information is good for us. It'll only help us help you.
Absolutely.
Greg, I saw an analogy on that where, it's also our job to identify what the problem might be. Meaning you go in and you say, hey, my arm hurts. And then the doctor starts looking at your heart. The patient might be like, oh, I told you my arm hurts. It's like, well, the doctor knows like that could be a symptom, something's wrong with your heart, right? So in our world, it's people say, well, my taxes are too high. Like, what's my CPA doing? Well, let's look at your investment account. Maybe you have actively managed funds in a non-qualified account. Maybe you own all these CDs and you have high income. So like what is manifesting as a pain in your arm is actually a heart problem. What's manifesting as, hey, I'm paying too much in taxes. It's not a CPA problem. It's actually coming from another place. So having all that data then allows us to be able to, diagnose and then prescribe, essentially, to keep your medical analogy going on that. So that's in that onboarding process. It is a bit of a heavy lift of, hey, we need to get this information so we can see actually, where the problems are and what's causing them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
one more point I wanted to bring up is it's not just uploading documents and filling us in on what is happening with your family. It's also, there is a time commitment, hence why we charge. There's a time commitment from our side, but we need to make sure that the client is willing to spend the time, because if not, we're going to feel spinning wheel analogy on both sides, and it's
Right.
going to end up not being the best relationship. So financial commitment upfront hiring us, document and exploring and understanding your situation, but then also committing to the time that it takes to allow us to do our job in the best way.
Exactly. You don't lose, you don't gain weight overnight and you don't lose weight overnight. It's the same thing with getting financially healthy. It takes time, it takes commitment, and it takes a partnership.
We are all about analogies here.
Well, this was
All right, guys.
really great talking about this, and I think this was very helpful to whoever is going to be watching. So I appreciate the time, and let's go have a good day.
See
Take
y'all.
care.